Okay, so hear me out. I'm probably the only one who thought this, but the little like stop motion girl in this movie like reminds me of the Susie doll from May. I don't know why, they just look very similar to me. Like the stop motion one's like the crunchier version, but it's, you know. Hey there, creepy peeps. As you can tell from the title of this video, I'm talking about the movie Stop Motion, which was directed by Robert Morgan. The movie follows Ella, a stop motion animator who struggles to control her demons after the loss of her overbearing mother. So even though this movie just got a wide release in theaters and in VOD, it seems like everybody's already talking about it, has already rushed out to see it. So this video is not going to be spoiler free. If you're hoping for the spoiler free version, I can give that to you right now. It's a movie you want to go see for sure. I think it's absolutely worth the watch. And there's your spoiler free version. So I just want to give that warning before I get into the details of the movie, which is right now. So the director, who also co-wrote the movie, Robert Morgan, has a background in stop motion animation, felt that telling like a psychological horror story kind of centered around this profession would work really well because it's sometimes a very solitary thing to do. He told Daily Dead in an interview about, you know, like when you're doing stop motion, quote, "You sit in a dark room alone and you perform this strange ritual on these puppets and they come to life." To me, there's always been a sort of occult kind of quality to the process of stop motion, so that was the starting point. I feel like an occult ritual is the best way to describe what goes on in this movie. Ella, our main character, struggles to come up with her own ideas after her mother is hospitalized and later passes away. So she conjures up this little girl to feed her ideas and tell her what to do next. In doing so, she brings this terrifying story about the Ash Man to life. The movie ends up being this like amorphous like Mobius strip of life imitating art, which infects life like a snake eating its own tail. Starting with Ella's mother directing Ella like a puppet, and she even calls her Poppet. Then Ella trying to make her own film, and like I said, she conjures up this little girl who I assumed was a young Ella to tell her how the story goes because she can't come up with ideas herself. But then the story comes to life to enact on Ella what the main character of Ella's story is going through. It's like you could go like round and round about what's going on in the plot of this and how it all reflects each other and how it's all connected. And you could just go on and on forever discussing the meaning of everything. Like any good artist going mad story, Ella starts incorporating viscera and gore in her puppets and in her scenery, eventually leading to her using her own body, you know, the very epitome of, you know, putting yourself into your art, your blood, sweat, and tears, literally into your art. And the film eventually ends with Ella killing her boyfriend and her boyfriend's sister and using them to create puppets that she then dictates to finish telling her story. In this culmination that leads to the puppet finally becoming the puppet master, but at what cost? And in terms of Ella as a character, her art is not all that unique. It's a very typical kind of like tortured artist, psychological horror story, but it's the medium that makes the story super unique. And the medium of stop motion, puppetry, miniatures make for some really beautiful and cool scenes. I loved the mixed media of the movie. It really made everything feel like an immersive experience. The sound design also really shined for me here. There's like a lot of like little noises and things going on in the background of the movie that kind of echo the things that you hear during the stop motion sequences when we're seeing Ella's story play out, like what she's filmed so far. And it makes you feel very aware that you're watching a film. And that's what I loved most about the movie. I don't know that that was the intent necessarily, but the whole thing felt very meta because it got me thinking like, well, what is it that like filmmakers do? What is it that writers do? What is it that directors do? They're dictating to the actors how the scene should play out. They're blocking the scene, they're deciding the camera angles and the lighting. They're like a puppet master and the actors are like the puppets. that's what Ella is doing with her puppets. And maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but this movie felt like one of those visual things where you're seeing a scene. I don't know what it's called, but it's like when you see a scene and then it zooms out and it turns out like that scene was part of like a larger scene, and then it zooms out again and again and again, you know, like one of those things. That's the best way for me to describe this movie. Overall, I had a really fun time watching stop motion. It got under my skin, it made me uncomfortable, it made me squirm, but I really liked the story and I thought it was unique. Definitely the most unique horror film of the year so far. And I can already tell that it's gonna benefit from rewatching, absolutely. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about it in the comments, if you've hopefully seen it and you made it this far. If you liked that video, you can check out my review of Lisa Frankenstein, where much like Ella in stop motion, we have a girl animating dead tissue. Okay, now that was a stretch. I'll see you later this week with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.